Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? If you are, please smash the subscribe button and the like button. And please do follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Don't know, I've just got the giggles. This just must be the most amazing week of my life. Of course, my geek culture nerd life. I don't want my girlfriend getting a bit upset, right? Anyway, wow. It's good news after good news. It is looking like the air cut of David Ayer's Suicide Squad will be exclusive to HBO Max as well. No announcement as yet, but I tell you what, we started yesterday with David Ayer making kind of, it's not my IP, I love Warner Brothers. If it never happens, it never happens. It's just a rumour. It's going to happen. There's an article here kind of confirming it. But as I say, no official kind of stuff. You've got, look, if you go to AT&T Twitter's account, they've been class. They've been putting up pictures of Darkseid. Really funny, fun stuff. But they were having fun with the fans yesterday. Fans were asking for the haircut. And they were saying, one thing at a time, guys. And then they replied to someone else saying, well, you never know, magic could happen. It's looking good. I will try and find that what David Ayer said at the beginning before all that happens. It was a little bit, I won't say negative, but kind of disheartening because it was a bit like what Zach was doing when the fan asked him the question on the Man of Steel watch party and he was going, well, it's not up to me. And I tell you, when Zach was saying that, I thought, this isn't going to happen, is it? I didn't know he was on a bloody wind-up, did I? I don't know, Zach. You had my heart pounding there. Anyway, we have a little article here. Look, there's a lot to get through today. There's so much to get through. I've retweeted it all on my timeline on Twitter, and I'm going to forget so much stuff. It's a massive week, but this is probably the biggest episode of the DCEU Daily I've ever did because of the information I've got to get to you. I'm not Chris Wong Svensson, My little mind can't handle all this. Anyway, by the way, Chris, I'll repeat my stance to you. Tinfoil hat boy, back on. There's lots to discuss, and there's a lot of things that could happen in the future. You need that tinfoil. I'm going to make my own. It's not going to be as good as yours, though. Anyway, exclusive. Zoic Studios to work on VFX for Snyder Cut and Air Cut. Now, these are the cultured nerds. Now, I don't know how reliable they are, but we're going to go with it. Pinch of salt time, tinfoil time. The VFX studio, Zoic Studios, Lucy in the Sky Mother, has been tapped by the Stone Quarry Zack Snyder's production company to complete remaining VFX work for Zack Snyder's Justice League and David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Director cuts. Multiple sources close to TCN have revealed. This news comes following the huge announcement on Wednesday that Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League would be hitting HBO Max in 2021. Many changes are needed in order to complete Snyder's vision, and Zoic Studios will be working on some of the VFX. Their contributions include adjustments to Superman's iconic black suit and the reversion of Steppenwolf and the Parademons to their original appearances. Wow. Actually, let's go back. Some of their contributions include adjustments to Superman's iconic black suit and the reversion of Steppenwolf. I was reading that and I wasn't thinking about it. So we're getting the proper original Steppenwolf, and Zach showed us pictures before as well. And the Parademons to their original appearance is brilliant. Zoic is expecting this will take them approximately 3 months of work to complete reshoots. Not included, Zoic is one of multiple studios who will be working on the Snyder Cut. We can also report that David Ayer is indeed getting his haircut. The original version of Suicide Squad going under the production name Airwolf. The film will feature Enchantress's original plot with mother boxes and Apocalyptians, as well as the deal she made with Joker in the third act. Ayer's Suicide Squad will pave the way for Steppenwolf's arrival in Snyder's Justice League. Zoic Studios has also been hired for VFX on Ayer's Suicide Squad. They expect their work on this film to take approximately 9 months. 9 months! Are you joking? Are you having a laugh? 9, I'm not sure about that. Who knows? Look, this is a positive noise. I don't know how true it is. Stay tuned for more news on the Snyder Cut and Air Cut. We can just hope. We can just hope. So, wow. So, that's part one of this story. But if we go back in time a little bit further, David had something to say. On one of the tweets, right, when they go one thing at a time, David Air quote tweets saying, standing by. So that's really exciting. But this is what he said before all of that happened. He said, it's simply not my call or my IP. I love Warner Brothers. It's always been my home studio. I fully respect and support the incredible path the dceu is taking under their stewardship. My cut of Suicide Squad may always be just a rumour, and that's just fine. Well, don't listen to that. Don't listen to him. He's playing us as well. This is going to happen. It hasn't been announced yet. It's not official yet. But I said to you guys on Twitter on here, I can't remember which it is, but I said that Zack Snyder would not have done this deal without David Ayer's cut of the Suicide Squad. Why? Well, it's obvious. David Ayer's Suicide Squad, his vision, is literally part one of this Justice League story, but it's all part of Man of Steel. But Jesus Christ, the film starts off with talking about how the world changed when Superman flew across the sky, and it changed again when he didn't. What a brilliant piece of dialogue, by the way, by David Ayer. This is all interconnected with Snyder's verse. And this is why I always said, the fight for the Snyder Cut should always be the fight for the Ayer Cut. It's the same thing. It's the continuing story. This is epic. And hopefully David Ayer can work on the Warner Max kind of side of the DCEU in the future. Because we're going to talk a lot more about that a little bit later on. There's so much to talk about today. But yeah, basically David is playing his cards very close to his chest. But as I say, he quote tweets AT&T and says standing by. So very, very interesting. AT&T, as I say, started off by saying one thing at a time. Then they said, you never know what magic can happen, or whatever they said, right? Look, it looks like it's going to happen. I'm confident it's going to happen. Just look, of course we're greedy. We want the whole package. It's all the same part of the package. And you know, it's just utterly, it's been a crazy week. You know, it's Friday today, and it's amazing. It really is amazing, and I'm excited. I'm just thinking back now. Did I ever even welcome you to Friday's edition of the DCEU Daily? I can't remember because my head's a mess. I'm OCD. These things are very, very important to me, so I apologise if I didn't greet you properly. OCD will. It's going to be in my head now for the next half hour while we're doing this. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, David Ayer's Suicide Squad is happening. Very interesting how James Gunn feels all about this, with him doing the next Suicide Squad movie. I think there's a lot to be said, and we here on Big Mouth on the DCEU Daily will be keeping a very close eye to it. So, who remembers Paul Cherie, right? Is he from JoeBlow.com? Now, I really used to follow this guy and his videos, but I did get into it with him about something, and I can't remember, and I think I blocked him, then I unblocked him. But he's had some interesting stuff to say about the Snyder Cut fandom, and this is what he's saying. He said lots. I haven't got everything here, but this is just a snippet of what he's been saying. Have some of the Snyder Cut supporters been aggressive arseholes? Sure, but not the majority, and the positives gleaned from that movement far outweigh the negative in that way. It's no different than any other group appealing for something. Absolutely. Well done, Paul. All you nitwits out there using words like dangerous and problematic and bullying are full of shit. Enjoy your fresh hot take potshot articles while leaning into the narrative that makes you feel warm and fuzzy. That's your right, but it sure as hell doesn't make you right. Wow, Paul's just a legend, isn't he? I mean, if you're talking about sending some mean demanding tweets or 20 people standing in costumes outside of WB and treating them badly, okay, that's hardly an ITFA level crazy on any level. Wow. So then he replies to someone, I don't know who, and he says, this is what I'm talking about. There's all kinds of great folks like yourself out there, more than any of the toxic ones, that are just championing something they want to see. Kudos to you for being cool and respectful, dude. Wow. I dealt with Snyder Cut folks who were nasty to me within the last few days digging up old tweets. where ironically I was arguing with the same types in those tweets. It's always there, always will be for all fandoms. That's the price of free speech. Yes, I think that's absolutely right, Paul. I think I've argued with very aggressive people from the Snyder Cut movement. I've argued with people from the Fandom Menace. We can all remember the iconic argument I had with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I used to shout out Jeremy on this channel, and then it went badly, and then I just unfollowed him and stopped following him, because at the end of the day, he didn't have any facts. He came in on me, and it was a very sad state of affairs. And when you do that, you lose supporters, right? Everyone needs to be more like Chris Wong Svensson. I talk about that guy a lot, but he's a classic YouTuber. He's there because he loves what he's talking about. He's passionate, but he's always polite, always to his detractors. In fact, in the early days, I remember disagreeing with him, and it was getting a bit, and he just, I think, just ignored me and unfollowed me, and he hasn't followed me since, but that's cool. But things get passionate, right? And that's the way it is, you know, and it is a curse of free speech. People get really heated on these platforms, and that's okay. I mean, if I like someone and I can feel the conversation's getting a bit heated, I just won't reply to their next post, and I'll keep them on my timeline and everything. But if I like you and I don't want to be blocked by you, I will just take kind of a step back, unless I'm so triggered and so heated. So well done, Paul Cherie. Very good to have you back on my team, and very, very exciting to have all this positivity. My opinion is, someone else said yesterday, one of these blue ticks, I don't know who he is, if he's a podcaster or something, was saying, I've got a lot of people in my timeline, you know, trying to tell me how bad it is that the Snyder Cut's happened. He goes, sorry, I can't hear you through celebrating too hard. And that's brilliant. That's the kind of attitude, right? And that's the kind of attitude that we want. On May the 27th, we were going to have an event. Now it's turned into the Thank You HBO Max event. So this is what I am planning to do. I'm not going to mention kind of bloggers and pundits and critics who don't like us. What we're going to do, we're going to take the higher step. We are going to celebrate. We are, of course, going to have some banter. This is going to be our celebration, you know, party, right? And wasn't it great yesterday to see one of our fans, or however many it was, send a banner over Warner Brothers Studios thanking Warner Brothers for releasing the Snyder Cut. And Zack Snyder posted on Vero and said, this is awesome. Absolutely, Zack. It's awesome. And I think Zack's such a positive person, nice, kind person, who could have really kind of been frustrated and angry on social media, but used his brain. And that's why we're here now. And this is why we are celebrating right now. And let's keep on celebrating. I told you we've got a lot to get through today. You've got to sit down. This isn't TikTok, you know. We're not just going to do a 5-minute video. And I'm telling you something. You know, I'm not, just because we've got the Snyder Cut now, it doesn't mean I don't do long videos and I've got nothing to talk about. My passion's gone. This is a bigger moment. We're building up to the release of the Snyder Cut in 2021. There's stuff to talk about. There's celebrations here to have. There'll be a DCEU Daily every day. That's why it's called DCEU Daily. And there's so much to talk about. So have you heard of Joe Davis is here? Jonita Davis. Now, Jonita is a big Zack Snyder fan, of course, and she's a movie critic, I think, and a blogger or pundit for the Washington Post. And she's had this to say about her fellow critics. If you thought Paul Cherie was shooting out some truth bombs, this lady is a class act. Take a listen to this. While I'm so happy for the fandom and the people I come to know through Release the Snyder Cut, I'm also heartbroken over my fellow critics on film Twitter showing their entire asses today. You can't gaslight people for years and call them toxic for surviving the abuse. It goes on. I get it. You have to go along with the studio. That's where your access is. But why turn around and taunt the fans using your ample platforms to drive the barbs home? And then when the fans push back, you want to label them and dismiss their voices. All for the studio favour? That's a question mark. Very clever to do the question mark, by the way. Yes, I saw it. I've gone back and read the articles. The internet hides nothing. I've seen the back and forth. Don't forget I come from a comics family first. I saw you before we knew each other as colleagues. I thought your tunes would change once there was proof. You dug in film Twitter and ripped apart people who make our jobs possible. The problems here weren't toxic fans. It was toxic media trying to win clout points with a studio that only values you for your blue check and not much else. Writers and critics, we have to start respecting the fans. They make our work possible. They got you that blue check. I will lose friends and followers because of this thread. May get dragged. I'm okay with that. I am a fan first and always. Zack Snyder's Justice League. FYI, I will not engage in name calling and trading balls with certain members of film Twitter. You will get blocked. I don't mind discussion, only if you plan to back your point with evidence. So go back on YouTube and tell your friends I am not playing with you all day. This woman is slaying. Oh, Joe Davis is here. Jonita Davis, I love you. And I quote tweeted her and I said, this is just brilliant. This is just freaking. Oh, man. Oh. This is just brilliant. I can't believe it. This is the stuff I've been saying for like years now. And wow, Jonita Davis, I love you. I love you. You're probably married with kids and stuff, but I've probably proposed to you. That was the best truth bomb. And this is what I'm talking about. Intelligent people. She knew exactly what she was saying because unlike Access Media, journalists, bloggers and critics, she's speaking truth. We're only pushing back, right? We're only pushing back. All we've heard for the past 2.5 years is it's not real, it's never going to happen, move on. Zack Snyder wants to move on. He doesn't. That was a lie. Lies of many lies. They tried everything. And it didn't work. And look where we are now, but we don't have to reply to them anymore. This is what I'm saying to you. They have a job to do. You know, we can respect that. We can ignore them. It doesn't matter. Whether they say we're toxic, we're trolls, we're bullies, we're this, we're that, it doesn't really matter. We won. We are the good guys and girls. The good people with pure hearts rise above it. It was hard when we were fighting the battle, but we're not fighting a battle now. We are now wearing dark shades. Where's my dark shades? Right? Stay there. Stay there. This is us now. This is us. This isn't a cigar. We've got the shades on. And we're smoking a cigar, right? This is what I'm saying to you. We won. And I've said before, it's not about winning or losing, but we won. We fought the righteous fight, and we won. And it feels fantastic. It feels like when Manchester United win a game of football. I know it's been a while since that's happened, but that's how it feels when Manchester United won the Champions League and the Premier League and the FA Cup all in one season. That's how it feels. It is amazing, everyone. And we fought a good, clean fight, and we never gave up. All right, sometimes I kind of gave up. I know I did a couple of videos saying I was losing hope, but I was just being honest, right? I'm only bloody human. You're not going to crucify me over it, are you? I know you won't. I know you love me, and I love you. So, yeah, Jonita is a legend, and I really did enjoy this. You know, we are winning because what we have done, they've tried to wave the red rag in the past few weeks. So we had Andy Sigmore, which we did kind of take the bait, but who can blame us? And then we had the Harley Quinn animated show. We took the T-shirt on that animated character and we raised money for suicide prevention. We took the higher ground because that's what we are. We're smart. So slowly, the tag of us being toxic, it just makes them look toxic. It makes them look like bullies. And this is why I won't read all these articles. It's not worth it. It was worth it then to fight the good fight. But it's not worth it now. We don't need it. We are the champions, my friend. Ooh, no time for bloggers, because we are the champions. That's what it's about, people. We won. Lancelot and Guinevere won. Right, totally unrelated to the Snyder Cut and the haircut. We have, go follow Boba Talks. He's a great YouTuber. He's a big DC fan. And this is what he's just relayed on a post, or not just, about 15 hours ago. Jeffrey Wright, who's playing Gordon in The Batman, my take is, the way I explain what we're doing is, Like with any film, we're working together to create a mood, to create an idea, a setting, a tone. This is the next evolution since 1939, when these stories began. Wow! I am so excited, and this is what I'm talking about. The Walter Hamada end of the DCEU, then the Zack Snyder, Warner Max end of the DCEU. We're literally taking what the MCU are doing with Disney Plus and kicking it into touch. They're doing comedies like WandaVision, right? We're doing the real deal. We're doing the Snyder Cut. We're doing Justice League 2. We're doing a proper Justice League series on streaming. That's what the Snyder Cut is. That's what JL2 is and JL3. And going forward, God knows what Snyder and WB are going to do together. This is a great moment. As I say, it's a victory parade. But on the other side, you've got James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. You've got The Rock's Black Adam. You've got the Batman. It's massive. It's exciting. And what he's saying, what Jeffrey's saying here, is absolutely compellingly exciting. And I can't wait to see what comes from this movie. I'm pumped for everything. Now we can be pumped for everything. Very emotional here. I'm just so proud that I'm supporting a franchise that involves a young man like Ray Fisher, seeing him during his stream break down. And he said it's not because the Snyder Cut's finally coming, and I think that's part of it, of course. But this is what he said 14 hours ago. You all supported my friends when they needed it most, and I am forever in your debt for Autumn. AFSP National released this night, just AFCP, isn't it? No, it's AFSP National, which is the suicide prevention hotline, isn't it? The charity which we've all been donating to. Let's try and get this video because he breaks down on this stream. It just shows you what a genuine young man he is. It shows you what genuine people, Snyder chooses his people well, and it's just amazing. Let's take a listen to this. Right. Put the volume up. Let's get it right. I'm sorry, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I don't have the tech. This is how we have to live, right? Imagine we're stranded on the Lost Island, and all we've got is this. I don't know how we'd have a mobile phone on the Lost Island, but anyway, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to all you guys. Shout out to the support, especially the support that you've given the Snyders for Autumn and for their family. I know they appreciate it beyond. Oh man, here we go. All right. Oh man. It means a lot. Y'all gotta give me a second.
So he's gone off camera now because he can't handle it. It's far too emotional for him. You know, they are his friends. This is not just the guy who worked on Justice League. He loves Zack. He loves Deb. He's a part of their family. So I think he does come back eventually. And we're just waiting. I can't remember exactly. He does come back for about 5 seconds. Here he comes. He's back now.
All right, we back. It means the world, I know, to the Snyders. It's meant the world to me. Thank you. Ooh, you already know. Come on, baby.
That's absolutely brilliant. Very emotional. Where'd you get this? Would you get this on the MCU? Would you get this on Star Wars? Daisy Ridley, Robert Downey Jr. This is an amazing freaking story. And it's not a story, it's people's lives. You know, they lost their daughter. Tragically, she took her own life. Suicide in young kids, teenagers, is so high right now because we are living in such a toxic world and they are scared and they are confused. And it's really hard for us adults to help them. And it's a devastating time. And of course, Ray, we were going to support them. We are family. Ray, I don't know you. I don't know the Snyders, but we're family. We're in this together. A horrible thing happened to them. And then the film was taken away, and that was even, no, not even more heartbreaking, but it hits you over the head even worse, doesn't it? That's what I'm trying to say. Of course, losing a film project is nowhere near to your daughter taking her own life. And I apologise, I just got my words mixed up. Blimmin' hell. But you know what I mean? To lose your daughter, to try and come to terms with that, and then to find out you're losing this big project you've been working on, which is not just a job, it's not just a project, it means everything to Zach as well. So to lose your daughter, then that is absolutely terrible. And I don't even know how these people are as cordial and as polite and well-mannered as they are. Going through this, having people like Access Media going at you all the time, day in, day out. So it was an absolute honour to support Zach and Deb through this horrible time. And you can never bring their daughter back for them. Like I can never have my mother back again. But what you can do is be there for people and support people. It doesn't matter. We're all in this together, and we all are going to see this film together, even though we won't be like physically together. So Ray, you are part of the family. The Snyders are part of the family. We're all one big family, and I, cyberly embrace you all. You thought it was all going to be over once the Snyder Cut was released, right? Or the announcement was made. There wouldn't be much to talk about. What do we do then? It carries on. The excitement carries on, because this is, again, from the cultured nerd. I definitely think they like their tin foil, because they're at it again. Rumour: Henry Cavill may have signed a new Superman contract. It looks like Henry Cavill will don the red cape again after all, if the Man of Steel stream is any indication. For years now, Henry's attachment to Superman role has been in question, despite the actor's passion for the role and hope for a return, with Warner Brothers seeming to lose interest in his portrayal, especially after the failure of Justice League 2017. Cavill's future as the Big Blue looked grim, and reboot seemed imminent. However, in the Man of Steel livestream Wednesday that more or less broke the internet with the announcement of Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max, Cavill made an appearance, an exciting surprise for fans. Cavill went on to post about the announcement on Instagram, expressing enthusiasm for the film and congratulating Snyder. Wow. This is what Henry said, right? Just had a little chat with Zack Snyder after Man of Steel watch party. I didn't actually read this. Ladies and gents, it finally happened. The Snyder Cut will be out next year. Now, I know there have been two camps over the whole Snyder Cut thing, and whether it will ever happen for a while. Just remember, we all get to have more Justice League now. It's a win-win. So be nice to each other. Big congratulations to you, Mr. Snyder. Wow. And isn't that a nice thing to say, that there's two camps and we should all be nice to each other? I wish, Henry, you're Superman. You're pure-hearted. You were brought up by blooming Kevin Costner and Diane Lane. So you weren't really, but you know what I mean. But yeah, great. One comment, however, is where things get interesting. Cavill's agent, Danny Garcia, left a very vague reply to a post. Exciting times, wink. Interesting. Oh my God, I didn't read this and I follow Danny. Though this is not an official confirmation by any means, the simple comment seems to hint at bigger things to come for Cavill's Superman. His appearance on the live stream may be interpreted as a sign that he has officially reclaimed the role of Superman, as post from Diesel Olympus, or whatever that is, on Instagram theorizes. Here is the reason why Cavill was silent until today. He was under contract talks. Now he has a new gross deal closed. This is not only for Snyder Cut, there is more coming. Cavill's contract with Warner Brothers has been a source of contention for 2 years. It's quite possible he stayed quiet about Superman while negotiating with the studio, as he has asked to be paid more for his portrayal. Here we go again. Now, it seems they have reached an agreement, and so Cavill was able to speak once more about the role. While on Snyder's stream, Cavill was even expressed hope for a trilogy of Superman films, and says he still has the costume. While we may not know the specifics yet, things are looking up for Henry Cavill's return as Superman. Wow. Well, we need to talk about this. The exciting times and wink. This is from Danny Garcia. Just take a look at that. Doesn't that just fill your heart with joy, right? Oh my God. So amazing. I think this is the happiest I've ever been doing a DCEU daily. I've been here for, what, about 2 years now talking about this. Have I definitely been here? I think I came after Justice League. I can't remember. It was in July I started this video. Go back and look at my first video. Oh my God, I wonder what I look like. I bet I was crap. Well, I'm crap now. Anyway, let's talk about this. So she's winking. It's happening. We're getting the haircut. We're definitely getting the Snyder cut. And Henry's putting back on the tights, right? So these are things we've been hoping for. And there's been videos again in the past 2 years where I said, he's doing it, he's not doing it, he's being replaced. I even talked about Chris Evans replacing him. These were things that were being fed to me. But we must talk about this, and the theory and the prediction I keep on making here. There is going to be 2 DCEUs. It's pretty clear now. The Warner Max Snyder part of the DCEU, which I keep on talking about, and I'm going to keep on hammering it home so people can understand what's going on here. Then you've got the Walter Hamada side. On the Walter Hamada side, J.J. Abrams will write and direct his own Superman film and recast the role. Meanwhile, Henry will still remain and continue to be Zack Snyder's Superman. Now, let's get one thing straight here. For 2.5 years, Henry hasn't been negotiating more money. That's nonsense. Henry was very honest about the whole thing. They stitched him up like a kipper. They made him look ridiculous, right, with the upper lip CG, right? So he was making demands, not about money. He wanted a sequel to the first Man of Steel. He wanted to continue what was going on in that film, right? There's so many there's a lot of stuff that was left wide open, which was cool, and you could continue that stuff. The people in the Phantom Zone, Chris Maloney's character. And I want to talk about Chris Maloney in Man of Steel, actually, and I forgot the name he's a captain or something, right? You see the disdain he has for Superman at first when he basically says he's just the same, kill him as well, whatever. He doesn't care for Superman, right? But then Superman saves his life, and he realizes that Superman is a good guy. And he starts having an empathy for Superman. This is like what's going on with Snyder, right? For many years, a lot of fans haven't liked Snyder or Snyder's style of movie making. All of a sudden, they've seen what he's gone through. And a lot of people, and my mate, a Prime Video actually has said, a lot of people are buying Man of Steel and Batman v Superman since this announcement was made 2 days ago. So people are coming to the party. They will join you in the sun. They're all joining Zack in the sun now, and it's absolutely brilliant. So Cavill is back as Superman on the Warner Max side of the DCEU, but there will be a new Superman over there. And there's a lot more to get through yet. Sorry, but, look, we're all fans, and it's great, isn't it? And finally, we heard from Ben Affleck. I must admit, when the Snyder Cut was announced, I wasn't sure, because a few months ago he was saying on a set of another film that he's moved on from that character. He didn't feel it anymore, but he's just done it. Well, yesterday, about 15 hours ago, he did a video congratulating Zack Snyder. He retweeted Zack's post of saying this is real, this is happening. He's full on it. Very, very exciting. And this is what he had to say. Now, this isn't a good recording of what he said. I think someone recorded it from a TV set or something, or a computer screen. But peg open your ears. This is what Ben Affleck had to say about the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Never gets old saying that.
I just want to say, I'm sorry I couldn't make it on there live, but I'm very excited. Zack's getting a chance to finally see his vision realized. I think it's a great thing. I'm really excited for the fans to get to see it. I want to say thank you to the fans, because it was their enthusiasm and their passion that made it happen. Fan support. I don't think it ever happened. And I love Zack, and I love his version of the movie, and I look forward to everyone getting a chance to see it. What up, Smith?
Wow, brilliant, 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 brilliant. Very, very exciting. So Ben Affleck is now on board as well, and that's great. We haven't heard from Gal Gadot. I wouldn't worry about that too much right now. She's going to be on board as well. But some very, very, very exciting times. Very, very interesting as well. And it's kind of weird, isn't it? Because we're going to see Wonder Woman 84, and then we're going to see Snyder's Justice League next year. It's a proper connective universe now as well. You can see things in reverse order. It's totally fine. So Ben's on board, thanking the fans, saying it wasn't for us, it wouldn't happen. Thank you, Ben. Ben, you like Zack, have been through such an ordeal as well. And, you know, you were attacked by these people as well. Do you remember the unhappy Affleck nonsense as well? So I'm really proud that you and Zach and Deb and everyone has come on the other end and we can all celebrate together. Now we are talking about Walter Hamada's side of the DCEU, and that's how I'm going to do it. So it's all layman's terms as far as I'm concerned, so you all understand what's going on here. Anyway, this is from Discussing Film, I think. WB considering Justice Society of America's spin-off, which is very exciting, film based on Black Adam's reception. Basically, if everyone loves them on Black Adam, they will get their own movie. Again, what a week this has been to be a DC fan. Amazing. The Illumina RD has exclusively learned that the Justice Society of America is being evaluated for their own feature film following their appearance in Black Adam, pending the public's reception to the movie. The upcoming DCEU Black Adam film is expected to see the silver screen debut of the JSA, the original superhero team. According to an inside source, if reception is positive, it could lead to a franchise all of their own. The architects of the DCEU will be watching the critical, commercial and fan reception towards the Justice Society of America very closely when Black Adam hits theatres on December 22nd, 2021. Now, before you burst out your Mr. Terrific pajamas, it's important to realise that this JSA film is far from materialising. To call it a film in development would be an exaggeration, as it has no cast or crew attached to this time. However, Warner Bros. Is now considering this property as an option while they move forward with Black Adam's pre-production. Brief history of the JSA. Do we really want to read that? Nah, all right. All-Star Comics 3 was released in the winter of 1940 and featured the Golden Age team's debut appearance, making them the oldest superhero team in comic book history. Despite their seniority, they've never been the most popular team and have a rather convoluted history. I actually really love the JSA. Recently, however, they've seen resurgence in popularity. The team debuted in the Arrowverse on Season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow back in 2016. Although that adaptation was less than ideal, to give you an idea of what I mean, just take a look at Dr. Midnight costume. Yeah, I think you're right. It's terrible, isn't it? But what do you expect? The team has also appeared on Smallville, which was awesome. There's a surprisingly fantastic Dr. Fate costume in Absolute Justice, Kent Nelson fans, and will continue their DC TV legacy on Stargirl, which looks to do the team justice in live action before the DCEU gets the chance. Upcoming Dwayne Johnson-led DCEU film Black Adam is confirmed to feature the debut silver screen appearance of the classic team. Black Adam has a long history with the team, particularly with Al Ralphstein, aka Atom Smasher. Atom Smasher will join Cyclone, Hawkman, Hawkgirl and Dr. Fate in Black Adam, and as such it seems reasonable to expect these characters to appear in the JSA film, should it be officially added to the DCEU's upcoming slate. Other classic DC characters synopses with the team include the Spectre, the Flash, Jay Garrick, Green Lantern, Alan Scott, and the Sandman. While those are some of the most famous members, the roster has seen dozens of heroes join its ranks throughout the years, and it's extremely exciting to think about what the DCEU lineup could look like. If they include Wildcat, I just hope the super suit is of a higher caliber than that of the Stargirl incarnation. The Justice Society of America laid the foundation for the ensemble act synonymous with superhero heroics today, and it's time they got their due. Hopefully Black Adam can make that happen. The DCEU deserves premier superhero team, and since the Justice League didn't pan out, hasn't yet, but it will. Perhaps their all-American predecessors could fill that role. Would you like to see a Justice Society of America? If it does come to fruition, can DC finally get their costumes right? Oh, shut up. Anyway, right, very interesting, because this proves my point totally. Warner Max, DCEU, Zack Snyder. Warner Brothers, theatrical DCEU on this side. So, what they're going to do is, they're going to have the Justice Society of America on this side, give them a movie and all of that, while Zack Snyder's Justice League team and that Weld and Cavill will be on this side. It all makes sense. It's awesome. It's exciting. And I can't wait for all of this to take fruition. I I have something totally unrelated to Zack Snyder, the DCEU, whatever side of that we've been talking about, because when I was asleep, the Tenet trailer, 3 minutes long, was launched on Fortnite. Yes, the Fortnite game, insane. Do they really think people who play Fortnite are going to go and see Tenet? I don't know. It's an interesting idea, and why not? Why not, eh? Insane. So, Christopher Nolan, the man who made Man of Steel and the DCEU possible, the man who brought Zack Snyder to the DCEU, and thank Frick for that, right? So, right now, we are going to watch this trailer together and react to the trailer of Christopher Nolan's Tenet, which is still meant to be being released in theatres across America and the world in July. But how is that even possible with COVID-19? Don't ask me. I just work here.
All I have for you is a word. Tenet. It'll open the right doors. Some of the wrong ones, too. Use it carefully.
To do what I do, I need some idea of the threat we face.
As I understand it, we're trying to prevent World War III.
I'm not saying I'm getting here.
No. Something worse.
How do you have an interest in a certain Russian national? My experience. You really want to know?
If you communicate with the future.
Time travel.
No. Inversion.
Maybe at the poetry. You're shooting the bullet. You're catching it.
Well, I've seen too much. Well, we'll try and keep up.
Security transcends national interests. This is about survival.
It seems both.
Both I'm fine, but I thought you were going to say nuts.
This is where our worlds collide. How would you like to die?
Oh.
You chose the wrong profession. What'll happen here?
Hasn't happened yet.
There are people in the future who need us. We need a Tenet. We need to save them here and now.
This reversing the flow of time. Doesn't us being here now mean it never happened? You want to crash a plane?
But not from the air. No such master.
Well, how big a plane?
That part is a little dramatic.
Wow, that looks freaking amazing, doesn't it? And, you know, watching Robert Pattinson and his sarcasm and everything, is it interesting? Because Michael Caine, yes, Christopher Nolan's old mate, Michael Caine, is back, still looking really good for his age as well, and, you know, top respect to him. But yeah, Robert Pattinson really is acting good and looks great in that film, and that gives me even more confidence for him in the Batman. Don't worry that he's not doing that, it doesn't matter. Robert, borrow my muscles, mate. Look at that, Robert. Anyway, that looks like a really, really good film. So basically, this film is a time-traveling movie or an inversion movie, whatever that means. But it looks like something is going down in the future. Somehow, there's technology to go to the future, maybe. So I'm very, very excited about this film. Christopher Nolan brought my heart back to Batman again. With Batman Begins, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. You know, Christopher Nolan, you know, him and David Goyer wrote Man of Steel. There will be no DCEU if there wasn't for Christopher Nolan. So I thought I'd just give you a little surprise and do a little react there. So it's looking like a really good film. I love time travel stories. This looks like so Christopher Nolan. Is Zimmer doing the music for this? Sounds like it, doesn't it? So it's very clever, right, by the studio. They know people are going to be afraid to go back to theatres. This is one of the biggest films of the year. You know, so if they don't go out to watch this, they're never going to go out to watch anything. I know that the bloggers and the pundits are getting very upset with Nolan because he's insisting that this film is released in theatres and they haven't changed the date yet. They'll probably change the date, but who knows? America is full of so many states. It's such a big country that I think in some states it will be released then. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But again, watch this space. So that's it for today. It's been a long episode of the DCEU Daily. Little bit tired, but I'm still excited. So pumped. And I'm so proud of everyone. I'm proud of Zach and Deb. Thank you to Ben Affleck for coming out as well. Thank you to Henry Cavill. We're getting this team back together. How does it feel? Every time I think about it, you know when you're in love and you're thinking about the woman of your dreams, that's what it's like. It's like a new day has dawned. It's exciting to be alive now and that we don't have to fight right now. We can enjoy the fruits of our labour. And I want you to do that. Keep on being happy. Don't let anyone take this away from you. You earned it, and maybe I earned it just a little bit. So comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll of course be back tomorrow and every single day breaking all the Snyder Cut news and the Air Cut news. Fingers crossed for David Ayer as well. He deserves it as much as Zach. I shall see you tomorrow for more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.